This is Silver, just in his teens. He was here a long while ago, along with Ted, the little black Shetland. We'll put a reference up. This horse has got a problem. Now, I don't know, I can only, ask the owner, explain the situation and see what answer I get. Do they understand or experience anything I'm experiencing? So, what he will do, this horse, I think we're on top of it, but he's going to be here a little while yet, so I know that we are on top of it, i.e. All Strong Promotions are on top of it. So his problem is, this gap here for instance, when he decides he's gone far enough, he would turn in there and stop. He'd turn in someone's driveway. More importantly, he would be going along like this, and he'd turn to go home. And you wouldn't get a lot of warning of that. Now, I would consider myself to be reasonably experienced in the training of horses, and these horses are very dangerous, in my opinion. I will train that out of them, but I don't think he's not the type of horse that you can relax behind. Now you could say, well, you should never relax behind any horse. Well, I know that, but you should be able to have an enjoyable drive, yeah, whilst keeping control of the situation that you're putting the horse into. So this horse is not responsible if it hits his car coming up here. Can't blame that horse. Never. You blame the driver without any question at all. The only time it would be, if at all, would be I've known horse, for instance, with a brain tumour many years ago, and that's what had happened. So the horse didn't know where he was and was oblivious to anything coming towards him or whatever, and the horse caused an accident. It's a lot of years ago now. But this horse, I believe this is what could have happened. I have not spoken to the owner about it, but obviously I will be. So he's been here approximately 3 weeks. So what we've done is very slow, because he was, he was carrying a lot of weight. So we've got a set of scales, so we weigh them on arrival, and then we can, work with that so they're not losing too much. We're obviously going to lose some, but if you get it right, well, it's hard to say if you get it right, you can get it so that the push muscle is heavier than fat. You can get it that they don't change much in weight but look quite a bit different. You can also do that because you're not asking about the weight. We've already got the scales to give us the weight. So you could do it with a tape measure and measuring, can't you? Obviously, you measure its girth. You can measure 2 points around its chest, around its quarters, over its quarters and down. If you know that when you put the tape measure, for instance, on there, or a tape on there and lay it over his back, and you know that's the point you measure at, well, when you've got the harness on, it's ideal, because the buckles don't move, do they? If the harness is sitting on there square and flat, they don't move, if the horse is stationary on it. So you can measure at that point and see what it is over its, over its quarters, round its quarters, and round its chest with the breast collar. So the breast collar sits there. Come on, baby. So you're getting your lines right to measure it. But I think we've got him over this problem. I think what could have happened, and I cannot speak. Like, here we go. Right, prime example. Can you see that? Now, there's no reason at all to come into here, but he's gone, I've done enough. He's certainly not concerned about, traffic, anything like that now. He hasn't got that excuse. But he would turn and go in there and say, that's it, I'm not going to do any more now. And that is a prime example. So if you look here in this particular situation, I mean, just imagine him coming round now. This tree directly in front of us, covered with ivy, just look at the roots and where they are. That's a drop of about 2'6", roughly speaking. If he went down there, that is highly dangerous for him, banging his face, his chest, his legs, and obviously in the vehicle. Now the horse is not distressed, upset in any way whatsoever, but that is what he's done. Now I've allowed him to do that. I've allowed him to do that so you can see. And this is a dangerous, dangerous thing. When you're set up here, all the horses, and it's not demeaning to a horse, not putting a horse down in any way or disrespecting it, but what the horse is the engine, like the engine in your motor car. And that's what it is. It cannot be any more than that. You do everything else. You control the speed, the direction you're going, every other mortal thing. You don't get in your car, turn it on, put it in gear and let it go, do you, and fold your arms? Obviously you don't. Well, it's exactly the same with horse. That's not demeaning horse and putting it down. And you say, oh, but my horse knows. Well, your horse might know, right? When a car's gone past, now it's time it can move on. I've heard that argument a couple of times from people, which in all truth is, well, it's ignorance really. My horse is brilliant. He'll hear a motor car come past. We'll pull up and stop for whatever reason, and a motor car will come past, and then he'll once the motor car's gone, he'll follow it up the road. Well, that is ridiculous and irresponsible to even think like that. Oh, my horse is that clever, because the next thing you know, you're going to have a cyclist coming by, someone jogging coming by. They're not too bad. They will dive out of the way if the horse moves off. But you've got an electric motor car coming by now, you don't hear it at all. So he can't hear it. Although he's got better hearing than us, he goes straight in the side of it, or cause that to swerve into oncoming traffic. So it's just ridiculous. So I'm just saying, I broke this horse a long, long time ago. A good few years ago now. I honestly don't know how many years, but obviously I could look it up. Well, baby, that's it, my darling. So I believe what's happened, or what could have happened, he could have gone, oh, I don't want to go out today. Had that sort of attitude, got up the road 100 yards and decided to turn round, yeah? Or just turn into the left or the right. Well, he was going to the right. I think we've stopped that now by just being on the ball and anticipating it happening and being able to check him with the reins and talk to him. That'll do. Don't you dare. Like that type of thing. This inside one is more prominent now because he's not allowed to go the other way, so he's trying it on with the inside one. I've allowed him to do that, which I do not want to do, because it's a step backwards, isn't it? Obviously, because I've allowed him to do it. But I can't. What I'd like to do in some ways is not allow him to do it, but steer him in that way slightly, but you can't do it. He's got to leave that line you've got him on of his own fruition and turn into there. And that in itself is dangerous. And certainly, you could argue it's more dangerous turning to the right on this oncoming traffic here, but he would be going up this road, and I mean this particular road. So obviously, we've got to get him fit. He was overweight when he come, considerably so. So was his little mate, little Shetland mate. In my opinion, I can only say to you, well, that's what he weighed when he come. The scales are in the yard, and he weighs less now. Still looks good, looks nice, well covered, but he's quite considerably fitter than he was. So that's the problem with this horse. Now it might be, well, when I speak to the lady, she says, oh yeah, he did do that a couple of times. And she might say, no, he never did. Well, it's unlikely he would know once he'd been back here a couple of... See here now, look. Can you see? Walk straight up the bank. Yeah? Now, come over. You tell me what he's looking at or what he's concerned about. And now, when I turned him in, if I didn't... I don't know if you know, have a look at the film, watch it several times. As I turned him off of the bank there and let him come over here, he was going to turn around and come back then. I can feel it on the reins, you'll have to take my word for it, but you might be able to see it if you look very carefully. You can see his intention is to turn that way. Trot! So, you know, if you say to me, well, the white lines, new road white lines, well, he's done that to white lines, not bothering him, is it? Nothing to do with the white lines. There's a sign here coming up, you know, loose chippings, etc. Come over. Come on. Come on, come over. You know, that's how frightened he is of a sign. I know my job. So I can distinguish between that and the white line bothering him. It's him saying, no, I've had enough. I'm going home. Now he's fit, he's happy, he's, you know, he's happy in himself. And we're only about, I suppose, 2 miles from home. Well, when he left here last time, after being trained, he was fine. But I have to bring this to the owner's attention, right? That's what you must do that, because otherwise they are not prepared, or they can't make themselves prepared. So you've got to be on the ball with him, and you've got to keep him steering where you want him to go. He's absolutely lovely in his mouth. He's in a, you know, soft rubber bit. He'd go anywhere you asked him to go. You know, in a soft rubber bit. Come on, baby, have we go. Trot. So you could say, well, is he lazy? Well, no, I don't really think he is. You know, he'll go away quite happily with this cart. And any cart you put him in, he's, you know, he's all right. I just think he thinks, I honestly don't know, but normally when horses got away with something, so we just say it's not true. I'm not saying this is what's happened to this horse, because I do not know. But it could be that in the past, when they were driving him, he'd done something like that, and you know, obviously frightened the people that are driving him, and what they've done is take him out of harness, yeah, or turned him round and walked him back home, or whatever. But so they're not long in taking advantage and seeing a chink in the armour. That's probably not the nicest way of putting it, but it's what I believe. If there's a chink in the armour. So when I asked the horse, I asked the horse, never force it, no good at all. I asked him. We've built up these, obviously he's been here 3 weeks now. So we build up the mileage, you know, gently as we can, and we're very, very lucky to live where we live, because we've got this great big long, slow drive. The piece we're on now, this section of road for about half a mile, is uphill but very, very gradual. And then we're going to turn off here to the right, which is flat. Now, to prove, well, to strengthen my argument, or my opinion then, let's put it that way, right? I don't want to argue with anybody, it's not, that don't help horses. But see, I'm coming round here now. Now here, he's got no choice, has he? So I'll chuck the reins on the dashboard. There you go. He can't turn round anywhere, can he? So he's not going to pull off to the side. He blows a little lake by there, he knows he can't get up through that bank, right? So he'll go on there. No reins, no brakes, nothing whatsoever. So there's a big wide bit here, but he knows he cannot get through, and he probably can't turn round in that space, yeah? Not without my guidance anyway on the reins. as soon as we get on a wider bit of road and he thinks he's got room, or there's a driveway you can turn into, different thing comes into play. You know, he thinks, oh, stop now, I'll pull over here and stop. Could be that he's pulled, you know, when they've been out driving, they've pulled in to see somebody in a gateway or in a yard, or stopped at a certain spot, and he thinks all of them spots are the same. I'm allowed to stop here and I'll have a bite of grass while I'm here. I don't know. I do not know. I'm not saying what, you know, that's true, because I can't say it. I don't know. But in my experience over the years, that's what it points to me. So you see this little fella here coming up. Can you see his ears pricked? Weighing up the situation, looking either side. Can you see his head going down? And then coming over the other side, and he thinks to himself, oh, I can't turn here. So I don't want to do this. It's the last thing I want to do. If we're winning the argument, he'll go straight on here. If not, he's going to turn in there. Yeah? Let's just see. So that's good. But can you see he veered off out of his line? Watch the film twice and you'll see what I mean. So he's in, you know, he's thinking, I'm going to get told off if I do that. Or that's what I hope he's thinking. I'm going to get told off, yeah? And the same here at this one. All right, now that's a better line, can you see? But I've still got no reins, no brakes, nothing. He's going up here on his own. But you see back there, he turns straight in. He knows he cannot turn this way to the right and turn round and go home, because it's just not wide enough to get round. And you can see, is he lazy? Well, have I asked him to go? Have I done anything at all? Have I tapped him with a whip or said to him, you know, trot on or anything like that? Nothing at all, whatsoever. And he's plonking along there, lovely. Go on, babe. So is he worried about this motor car? No, he's not at all. He's trotting towards it as it reverses. He's going lovely. He's got no problem with it whatsoever. Right, I've got to pick the reins up now and obviously control him. Come over there. Thank you. Drop the reins again. Down on the dashboard. You can say, well, you're irresponsible, drop the reins. I've been doing this a long time and I understand horses. I ain't much good at anything else. It'd be a long time cutting a bit of wood straight. But, and this can be highly, highly dangerous. So the owner's got to be on the ball, and they've got to be able to send them, you know, show them this film, etc. And show what I think. I'm not saying anything at all. Come over there. Come over there. I'm not saying anything at all about it. I'm just surmising that's what might have happened. That doesn't mean it did happen. I'm not saying it did happen, but in my experience, that's what could be the case. So, and it's a real dodgy one, because the horse is not doing anything that is, how can we say, that is, you know, doing it out of being nasty. He's not like that. He's made that way. He's a, you know, a nice creature. Lovely little thing. He's not made that way. He's not nasty. He's not anything like that at all. And I don't want to, on the way home now, I do not want to prove the point by letting him go up every driveway, because it's going to set me training back. I hope you're happy with what you've seen when he pulled off the road on the bend. Does the bend have anything to do with it? None whatsoever. You saw me drive up the white line, you see me drive straight, you know, while the car's reversing there. He's not worried about that. He's not worried about traffic. Let me show you in heavy traffic. He's not worried about that. He just goes, oh, what's it? I've had enough now, I'm going home. this is getting better. I'd like to say the reason it's getting better is because of my training. Well, I do hope that's true to some extent. But also, it's also fair to say, and perfectly true, that the other reason it's not happening so much, like he's not going up that one there, yeah, it's not happening so much as it did, is because he's getting fitter. So before, when he wasn't fit, it's like when you start taking up jogging, yeah, it takes a great deal of willpower to get yourself fit and lose weight. But horse don't think he's going to lose weight, or he should lose weight. The more he can eat, you know, the better he's happy, isn't he? You know, he can have a lay down, a snooze, can't he? He can stand up, have a drink, have a roll, do whatever he likes. When we bring him into our world and ask him to do it, you've got to get them ready for the job. That's our job, is to train them to be safe, confident and happy, right? Well, obviously when we first started driving him, he wasn't happy particularly, thinking, oh God, we've got to do this. So we do it very, very slowly. Each day we gain maybe, I don't know, half a mile. Well, let's start off with half a mile, then after he gets a little bit fitter, you can add a mile on. After he gets a little bit fitter, another couple of days, you can get 2 or 3 miles on. And before you know it, to your basic 3 mile, you can double that, and then you double that, and then double that after that. So, you know, you can get some miles under their belt. But it's not, you know, it's not the miles you do, it's how you do the miles. There's a lot of horses come out their yard, and they go off at night. I've heard this so many times, it makes me, I don't know, not exactly angry, but, you know, it's another thing that's dangerous. And that is, you come out the yard, and they say, oh, first mile or so, he just pulls on, he just wants to go. But that ain't no good. That's dangerous. You know, they've got to come out the yard as you want them to, at the speed you want to leave it. If you want to walk out the yard, you want to trot out the yard, or whatever speed you want to go, that's up to you. But you've got to control it. We don't know how far we're going to go today, so you've got to control where we go and how we go. And that's our job, is to get him fit within the bounds of him, you know, getting fit slowly. Takes a bit of time. So in the first 2 weeks, it's like if you start jogging now, I sound like I've got a great experience of jogging, I certainly haven't. But I do know this, if you start jogging now, and you do it every day, and you increase your mileage very slightly, in 2 weeks the difference is, well, unbelievable. What you're allowed, you know, what you can actually cover. So when I say that, that's, you know, 14 days, and what you can do is incredible. So anyway, that's the story of Silver. So a lovely boy, he's back. That's what I think might have happened with the thing, you know, they've allowed him to get away with a bit, or something's happened and it's, you know, I don't know until I speak to him, I don't know. I'm not just saying what I think myself now with my experience, and that's quite a lot, you know, obviously probably 60 years of sitting up behind them, so, well, longer than that it is actually, but so there you go. Lovely little boy, we'll get him right. But that's one thing, steady my baby boy. Oh, stand still darling, yes you are. You're a good boy. I see him stand there. One behind us, coming round us now. So you can see the training we've done. He didn't walk off after that van went. He didn't walk off after that car went, did he? He just standing, not because I'm hanging onto his mouth. He could have walked away at any time, because he's been trained properly. And he'll go, walk. That's it, as soon as I say walk, he'll go to walk. As soon as I say trot, he'll go, trot. So in that respect, he's fine. So that's something, you know, that's worth, please subscribe. That's very important that you subscribe. Share is important, and comment. Please comment, and we'll answer your comments. We try and answer all comments that come in. I think we achieved that. We might miss one or two, but we'll answer. If you disagree, that's lovely. Everybody's got their own opinion. There's thousands of horses out there. I never trained them, and they're doing perfectly well without my help. So, you know, got a lovely little fella and a good little mate he'd be to you, but you just got to watch that. I've got me, even now, I'm like very aware. I've got my hands on these reins here, and you know, I can just feel what he's going to do while he's thinking about it, if you like. But then many years up behind the horses, isn't it, I suppose? My outlook on life is horses' fault, isn't it? Horses' bums I look at all day long. Come on, baby boy, on you go.